There is pain in the mortgage market. In June, home sales dropped and mortgage demand right now is at a 22-year low. Rising interest rates and fears of a recession are holding off buyers. Existing home sales are down 5.4% compared with May, and that marks a fifth straight month of declines. Meanwhile, mortgage rates climbed for a second straight week. The average rate on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage rose to 5.5%. So rates have nearly doubled since last year. Here to help us understand the new data is Kayla Bruun. She's an economist, an economic analyst with the Morning Consult. And Kayla, let's jump right in. We are tracking the minutia and the percentages and the movement, but can you bottom line it for the average American? Do these numbers indicate that we're heading towards a housing market crash?
So I'd say what these numbers are really pointing to is that affordability is declining for Americans for home buying. If you think about what a home payment is, it's made up of the principal and the interest. And right now, buyers are really being burned on both of those, which is different from what we've seen over the past couple of years. Housing prices have been rising pretty sharply over the past couple of years. But if you look back a year ago, interest rates were very low. Now, with interest rates, maybe double where they were a year ago, affordability is really being pinched on both sides. So that's really weighing on consumer demand for housing and their ability to buy new homes.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Where do you think mortgage rates are going to be by the end of the year?
So the Federal Reserve has been as clear as they can be given the evolving situation about what their intentions are for interest rates. And that, of course, has implications for where mortgage rates go. Another factor, of course, is supply and demand within the consumer market for housing. And what we've seen is that in our surveys that both potential home buyers and sellers have been declining. So we're really seeing a lot of signals pointing to a cooling housing market, which should weigh on prices at least and potentially filter through to some relief.
Well, what would your advice be? Is this the time to buy a house, or is renting really the way to go right now in most of the country?
I can tell you what consumers are saying about their views overall on home buying as an investment, and it's pretty much souring. We have a survey where we ask each month whether consumers think that buying a home in their zip code is a good investment or not, and we've really seen a growing share say that they think it's a bad investment. The rate has actually doubled from a year ago. It's about 7% in June 2021, now up to 14%. And I really think a lot of the reason for that is these concerns about the recession. Consumers are seeing these headlines. Are we in a recession? Are we heading for a recession? And historically, home values have, struggled often during recession. So they're thinking that might not be a good time to buy a home in case you can't recoup on that investment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, home builders, meanwhile, are trying to build more homes across the country, but the supply chain is also making that difficult. Are they able to keep up?
We have seen an increase in both home starts and construction. But as you mentioned, supply chain disruptions have really slowed it down. They've slowed the pace of deliveries. So there is still some pipeline. There's kind of an elevated number of under construction homes, at least compared to recent years, which should help boost supply to some extent. But the thing to keep in mind is that the much larger portion of new home sales are in the resale market as opposed to new construction. So we've had many, many years of probably below the level of new construction that we'd need to really have a balanced supply in the housing market. And what we're seeing now is that sellers are also a little bit more concerned about putting their homes on the market. So supply should be growing a bit, but the bigger deal is really how many resale homes are on the market and less about the new construction.
All right, Kayla Bruun, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.